we'll stop and we'll say hello to everybody, you know, that's in the live chat. Usually in a lot of people, but and then we'll get into you guys. Uh-oh. I just got notification. A flash in your pan live Tuesday. Hang out. Hi, everybody, and a special hi to my sister who joined us for the first time from Texas. That's my little sister. Yeah. Yes, sir. Dano the Mano's here. You must be high, or your volume's too high. Oh, no audio for Ned. That figures, don't it? I mean, you can hear me. Mute yourself, Ed. Are you muted, Ed? No. Okay, so all right. So Ed was going to ask me how my day was, and I'm going to tell you how my day was. My day sucked last night. I'm sitting in my house, and I hear a big crash. And there's one person I hate more than anything else in the world, and that's a drunk driver. Cannot stand drunk drivers. They can all go to hell, go to jail, whatever. But anyways, I had one blast into my brand new 2016 Dodge Dart. Looks like it's totaled. So, yeah, what a fun night. So I don't, so now we're just waiting for insurance. Fortunately, I was able to catch the guy. I actually caught the guy. He tried to take off, and he did take off, but I followed his trail of fluid right to his house, which was crazy. So, I don't know, Ed, you working yet? I don't know.
I'm working on it. So.
Okay. You're working on it. Well, he's still working on it. I suppose, yeah, it does stink, Eric. This is my 5th time that this has happened to me out here in front. So, I'm kind of used to it. Most of the time I usually don't. They take off and we find the car down the road, reported stolen. So then I got to deal with insurance. This time, after finding the guy, I told him you need to get back to where the accident was. And to my surprise, he actually came back and waited for the police, admitted that he was speeding, admitted that he blasted in my car, admitted that he actually hit me when I tried to stop him. But the burn on that is that he wasn't the one that was driving. It was his car, but he wasn't driving. So. Okay, and they can hear you really low volume, low audio.
I had my mic mute, so they probably couldn't hear me at all.
Okay, can you hear you now? Can you hear Ed now? Because I really don't want to talk too much about the story, because like I said, I got hurt where he tried to hit me or tried to get away, and so I don't want to talk too much about it, other than the fact is that I got him.
Right, bastard. I understand. Let's get some questions going too. Might as well bring in our guest, the Wandering Buffaos.
Yeah, let's do
You don't want to hear about my week. All I did was pour concrete, tear out concrete, pour concrete, tear out concrete, pour concrete, tear out concrete, pour concrete, tear down brick. And nothing too exciting.
Yeah. So we got Kathleen and Shad with us tonight.
How you guys doing?
It's great to be.
All right.
This is fun.
It's great to have
all I got to say is I'm staying away from you, Jesse. You're drunk driver magnet.
What? Why?
God.
Why are you used to it? Does it happen a lot?
This is actually my 4th one that's happened out. In fact, one of them, my car was actually parked up in a driveway, my neighbor's driveway, because it's a rental, and when it's empty, I park over there. Kind of makes it look like there's people living there, right? And it keeps me off the street. But I was actually sitting parked one night, and this girl comes screaming down the road, took a sharp left, and T-boned my van right in the driveway.
Wow.
So yeah, it's happened a few times. I kind of take it with a grain of salt nowadays, except for last night when that guy, I got out there so quick, he was just backing up off my car. And I tried to stop him, and he hit me with his mirror. And I did the old, roll, drop and roll, and but still, I'm 60. I'm over 60 years old. So any falls like that, they tend to hurt the next day.
Oh, come on, Jesse, you're in your prime.
Yeah, I didn't say I wasn't.
Well, I hope you feel better.
Well, I will. My car's paid off, and I own everything that guy owns. Yeah, I'll feel a lot better.
Well, thanks for having us on.
Oh,
well, sure.
We were your backup.
We were plan B for Buffalo.
Hey, there's always got to be a plan B, right?
Yes.
I was going to say, you always need a contingency. We are
Yes,
prospectors,
you do.
So.
I know.
Murphy, you know how he works. But enough about me and my luck with brand new vehicles. And they've all been brand new vehicles, by the way.
Oh,
Less than 6 months old. So
what is going on in Toledo? Holy Toledo.
What was worse? It wasn't. The bars weren't even closed yet. It was only like 11:30. I expect something like that 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, stop buying new cars then.
You too.
But thank you again for having us.
Well, sure. Glad to have you here. So let's.
Yeah, we got bumped up by like a month.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So most of the people on here know you guys already through GPS or GoProspectorspace.com and right, and their YouTube. But there's people on here too. Well, one or two right now. But there's other people that view this that don't know you guys, don't know about you guys. So about a little bit of history from when you started prospecting. When you started prospecting, but also want to know Shad's evolution from not being interested in prospecting or metal detecting to now where he's a dread dog. So
I'd like to think I had something to do with that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that's awesome. We, Shad and I, we have an interesting life. I mean, we're just really busy. We have 5 kids. We live in suburbia, 5 dogs, 5 German Shepherd dogs. And now we are the owners of 7 koi. But so this is what we do, when we're not in the creek. And what we wanted to do is just find a way to relax. And I was always a rock hound and loved gemstones and things like that. And I never thought there would be gold in Ohio until I looked into some of the sites. And I said, "Hey, Shad, look." He goes, "Wow, I didn't know either." I'm doing your voice now.
Thank you. Sounds
and
just like
doing
me.
a fine job.
Scary.
Of it too. Sounded just like you. I didn't know that. I thought that was Shad.
Yeah. So we're just kind of self-taught, and for the first year, we just did the sluicing thing. And then that's when we heard about the show, and then we started listening, and then I just started calling in because, I love it so much that I get excited and I want to talk about it, and it just kind of evolved, and then here we are.
Yeah, I mean, when we started, I love being outdoors. I was always interested in kind of like treasure hunting, archaeology, and history. That's always been a big passion of mine. So I was entertained. I mean, like I said, I love being outdoors, and the fact that my wife wanted to do something other than take expensive vacations and stuff, I was all for it. And, it was something we could do together. And spend time, as well as just get out in nature and get away from stress of life.
Not to mention the exercise.
And exercise, yeah, of course.
Now, Shad, when you first started, like, joining, when I met you at the first OSBA meeting you came to, I know we didn't talk much. It was like, hi, how are you? Welcome later. And you were more just into just coming and kind of appeasing Kathleen, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now,
Yeah.
now I've noticed.
Well, it's still that way, I'm sure.
Yes.
He seems a little more into it now that he's out there dredging too and high banking more and finding gold and
Adding to her pile.
Yes, it all goes to her. So.
Oh, she is the better half.
I recruited him.
Well, we started like pretty much everyone. I mean, a shovel, a pan,
Yeah.
and a bucket, and
A sluice.
Then we got a classifier. Well, this is even before we had a sluice.
Oh, yeah. We were just using
And then we got a sluice, and we were so excited, and we were just blown away. It was a little small Buckabilly sluice.
I love that thing.
And I remember being out at the GPA claim, at the Swank claim, all by ourselves, and we started digging right in the middle of a place that now makes no sense to even be there.
Because we had no
digging
idea.
for gold. And we were, we must have dug for a good hour straight, ran the material through the little sluice, cleaned it out, and started panning. And I think we saw one microscopic piece of gold, like smaller than fly poop.
But I was excited.
And we were just blown away. But that kind of like interested me a little bit, but I was still like, wow, that's it after all this, really? So, we started watching people's YouTube videos, and then we kept coming
Dennis.
to the meetings, and yeah, Dennis Dayton, we watched his, we watched yours, Ed, and that's how we started to learn, as well as just getting out there and meeting fellow prospectors and miners. And then we got a hand dredge, I think, one year.
Yeah, the Golden Sands.
Yep.
The hand pumpy thing.
Yes. Which that'll give you a workout.
Yes. My arms were toned that year.
So, like I said, I was still digging and classifying by hand, running it through the sluice. Kathleen was using the hand dredge. And we were starting to find little pieces, better pieces of gold then. And, after that year, we got to prospect with Dennis Dayton, and we met him. Mm-hmm. And he was selling his high banker dredge combo, and we actually traded something for it. And that was our first big piece of equipment.
Yep.
And once we got our hands on that, we were like, oh my gosh.
Suction power.
We just moved more material than we've done in 2 years in like a day. So,
like, oh, what took me so long to get here, huh?
Exactly. So that got me a little bit more interested, because I was like, all right, now we're starting to see more results. We're learning more now how to read the creeks and the rivers. We know where to dig a little bit. We're getting better at panning. So that's perked my interest. And then it wasn't until really this year when Kathleen got her backpack dredge. And then the same, like, I built my first dredge, a 2.5 inch, out of various parts.
We called it the Frankenstein
dredge. Yeah, that was Buffalo 1.
There's lots of those out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it served me well.
Everybody's built one of those.
Yeah, I ran an actual semi-trash pump on that baby. But it did the job. Granted, I couldn't ever dive with it because it would not have enough power, but it did great. And when she got her backpack dredge, I was looking on Craigslist, and I came across one guy who was trying to sell his 3-inch Keen dredge. And I was like, well, I don't have any cash for this. And I ended up trading a gun for it.
Hey, trading works really good in this lifestyle. I mean, don't always have cash for things, but you always got something that you can trade.
So that's kind of been the evolution of our equipment in a nutshell. And then now that we both have our own out there, she's got the backpack, which she's able to, maneuver, carry, set up herself.
Yes, and I do.
She don't need the Sherpa anymore.
I don't need,
No.
which is awesome because, oh my God, that was a lot of work always hauling. Then I'd be too exhausted to even do anything. But now we're just moving a ton of material every time we go out, and we're all business.
It's a business.
Yeah, that's really obvious. And it's kind of cool too that you guys have been able to do a lot of traveling around here in the last few years. Getting involved in. Oh yeah, definitely, you've definitely been wandering.
Well, that's funny because the concept for the Wandering Buffalos came before prospecting. We always traveled anyway, and we would travel on a budget, because we have a big family, and you have to be on a budget to be able to do the things you do. So we thought about doing a Wandering Buffalo blog on traveling, where we would talk about how to make it, how to budget a trip, on a shoestring budget and still have a good time. So then we started prospecting, and that started to take place of the traveling. So then we decided that, hey, why don't we combine the two things we love and do a prospecting traveling thing where, we wander to different places, prospect, and then, just have adventures.
It seems to be worked out pretty good for you too, because you got invited onto the show. Now you're one of the regular hosts on it. You got your own little corner in the show, which I think is pretty awesome.
We have a little niche, yeah. I'm not like a brilliant evil genius like Ed in the shed.
It's in the shed with Ed.
The shed with Ed. I don't, everybody brings a little bit of something different to the table, and that's why we like it.
I know it's fun being on the show. I always had a good time when Tim had me on.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the great things about Gold Prospector Space is, it's really a good community where, anybody with any different level or interest in prospecting, metal detecting, gem hunting, what have you.
Treasure hunting in general.
Yeah, can just come together and, talk to one another, share ideas, share tips, DIY plans, which I think we've all kind of used from one another, as well as just troubleshoot things. That's probably really the heart of it all. We have other mediums like Facebook and other social media, but goldprospectorspace.com it's its own. So everybody, regardless how you feel about social media, it's a site everybody can come to that's all like-minded without much of the drama, and just, hang out, learn stuff from one another, and enjoy each other's company.
And the outings are fun,
Yep.
When you can get a group of like-minded prospectors together and you're there to prospect and nothing else, and enjoy the evenings together, just hanging out by the fire. So that's a lot of fun too.
Yeah,
it's a one-stop site. It's a place where you can watch videos. It's a place where you can learn. Watch DIY stuff. Look at all the videos, pictures, and I think the best part of that whole site is the chat room, the live chat room, because you can go in there and talk to people, ask you questions. I loved it before we lost Lynn. Every morning, getting on there and sitting there with Lynn, Rob, Lou, Ron, and just drinking coffee and chatting.
Coffee.
Yep, it was fun. I had a great time.
Yeah.
But you didn't get to meet Lynn, did you?
I never personally did not get to meet.
You talked to her online?
Yeah, that was the only contact I had, but she seemed really nice, and we were friends on Facebook.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
I look at her name in Skype, and I come across her name in other places, and I just sit back and I go, man, it would have been cool to meet Lynn. She was so fun to talk to, and I love the video Raz did for her. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
that's the
go
people
ahead.
you
Go
meet.
ahead.
You know, it's great to be in the community where you start developing friendships and and getting to meet people to actually prospect with them. That's something special too.
Yeah, and I think what's cool, what we found in the prospecting and mining community, especially through like GPS and as well as through all the different clubs, is, it's really amazing as you get to know a lot of people. Everybody has such a wide array of backgrounds that everyone comes from. And all the different perspectives, the knowledge, just getting to know those people. I mean, our paths probably might have never have crossed without having
without a doubt
passion that we do. And I think I've made more really good friends in prospecting than I had in years, probably since when I was in the Marines, to be honest. And that just says something a lot about the prospecting and mining community of the type.
That says tons right there. I mean, because military personnel, they're brothers. I mean, there's not much that's going to separate one Marine from another. I mean, they're going to back each other up no matter what. Same with the rest of the militaries. The Army, the Navy, they all stand by each other, and that's like this community. We get together, we all stick together. You mess with one, you're going to mess with all of them. I mean, that's not to say you don't have your bad apples, which
of course,
there's a few here and there.
Yeah. But when somebody has a problem, whether it's they lose equipment or some of the equipment is sinking like ours, everybody kind of gets together and helps where they can with what they can. It's not like you're always on your own trying to figure things out, or if you're having problems trying to run your stuff, or you're losing or gold, or you're just unsure of what you're doing. Everybody's there to kind of at least give you advice, and
even when you don't want it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everybody's at a professional, I think, at times. But I don't care, because I don't mind people telling me, hey, you're doing it wrong, do it this way, because I
don't think it's doing it wrong. It's just doing it differently. But I still take the criticism or with a grain of salt, and maybe they do have a useful tip or something that I didn't think of, or maybe I'm not doing something right. But that's what I like about it, and that's one thing in this type of hobby and profession is you just got to get out there, meet the people involved. Join goldprospectorspace.com. That's a great avenue to be able to meet people that share this passion. So that way you aren't on your own, and then it connects you into other clubs in your area and groups and organizations like AMRA, who does a lot for the mining community, but they also have some great claims. So there's just a lot that you won't find out on your own until you really start talking to other prospectors and miners and getting involved with these groups.
Right. I mean, and like with me, here in the beginning of October, I'm going to be going to Houston, Texas for a week. So our buddy John Shaw's down there, and I was talking to him, and he's probably about an hour or so, maybe 2 hours from where I'm going to be. So I might hook up with him.
That's pretty cool.
I want to prospect in his driveway, man.
Yeah, I've heard so much about it.
I mean,
we love John. He calls it.
Yeah, I'd love to prospect. I'd like to dig his driveway up and get some gold out of it. I just think that's so awesome, But otherwise, if it weren't for doing this, my trip to Houston would be going to Houston and hanging out.
With the family
here, hanging out there, doing the tourist thing with the relatives, At least I'd be able to get away for a day.
Well, I mean, come on, do you travel anywhere without a gold pan?
No, I have one.
Exactly.
I actually have my painting tub and a bucket and a gold pan and a small shovel in my car all the time.
well, it's opened a lot of doors for opportunity for adventure. That's for sure. Because and we work in corporate America, desk jobs. So when people hear like, oh, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, I watched the game, blah, blah, blah. And then I get to say, well, I found some gold. And everybody just kind of stops like, what did she just say?
Yeah. I know. And when you tell people there's gold in Ohio, they don't believe you most of the time.
Oh, no.
That's easy. My wife asked me, what are you doing down there? I tell her I'm cleaning dirt.
Well, this year has been our best year in Ohio, for sure, because of all the flooding that we've been getting. Not as much as, California did, where they had that mini gold rush going, but
yeah.
It's enough to, get you excited.
Can you imagine if they let you dredge there? Holy cow!
I know. People.
I know.
Oh man, there would be a real. Hey, let them drop that moratorium on dredging. I'll bet you we'd all go out there for a week.
They're just kicking dirt around and finding gold.
Right, because of
they had a drought
dam
for
that
so
broke.
long. Then they had all those floods, and now with the forest fires, believe it or not, that's gonna help the prospectors too. It's sad that places got damaged, mining camps got damaged, and houses burned and whatnot. But hey, it will help in the long run.
Oh yeah.
Most parts of the country where normal people live, they clear the brush around their house.
Yeah.
They thin it out.
California has some really weird rules about fire perimeters and hurting little kangaroo mice or whatnot.
Kangaroo
mice. There's a reason why
we gotta save the kangaroo mouse. Come on.
Along with the minnow and everything else. Screw the people, let's save everything else. I love the state. It's the state of my birth, but I'm glad I left when I did.
Yeah, my sister says she lives on Lake Houston. Probably no gold there, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Might be some pirate booty down there.
Although if you look at GPAA Gold's their map of Texas, or the gold map of the United States, it actually shows a lot of gold that's gone right where John Shaw is. So.
Well, he's by Laredo, isn't it? The Laredo River.
No. He's up south or northwest of Houston. About an hour or so.
Northwest of Houston? Oh.
Yep.
So he's still on the eastern side of the state, more or less.
Well, yeah. Well, Houston's kind of southeast part of the state.
Not far from Louisiana, though. It's like boom.
Right. Okay.
Gold is where you find it.
That's right. I'm
right,
gonna find
Kathleen. That's one of my favorite sayings too.
Yep. We were digging a sewer last year at the apartment building, and I was panning the dirt and found little tiny specks.
Cool.
Yeah, we were getting down to bedrock area.
Yeah. So and I of course had my pan.
You're a job site miner like our friend Jurin.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's so fascinating. When I was a kid, my favorite thing to do was just dig a hole and look at the rocks and the stuff that I found.
Oh yes, yeah, me too. I used to bury treasure.
Yep. Then I would get in trouble by my dad for digging holes in the yard,
Yeah, my treasure though was a note. I'd write a note and bury it. Come back a couple years later and look at the note.
Your own little time capsule.
Yeah.
Did you tell yourself hi?
Yeah, no, I could never find the paper again. So.
Did you tell your future self what to do?
Yeah, bury it and put it in a jar next time.
Well, everybody loves finding treasure,
Oh yeah. So this thing that Swiftwater was talking about, geocaching. That would be kind of a fun thing to get started.
Well, geocaching is really fun. I've done it quite a bit, but he's doing something sort of like it for like a little poke of gold, right?
He hasn't really said. I know he did his last YouTube video. He talked about it,
right?
Doing something,
and he's gonna bring it up tomorrow night on the West Coast edition of Prospectors Radio. So.
Oh yeah, there's some of Kathleen's dredge art.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about your dredge art, Kathleen.
Okay, well, since we started dredging and using suction power, and you find some interesting things in the creeks, and as you know, all the heavies, you tend to gravitate towards areas where you seem to be finding like metal and a bunch of trash. So we always collect it, and nobody really knows what to do with it, and it started piling up in the garage along with everything else. So I decided to do collages and do art with it, just because if you really look at the trash, and I have quotation marks, it's actually, you can find some antiques. You can find some really interesting things. You find a lot of barbed wire and nails, but
right.
and buckshot and fishing
bullets and
but
and glass.
Yeah.
Glass.
So I mean, the picture that's up right now, I think there's a delay, but you can kind of see there was. We found a whole ice, like I think it's from an old fashioned ice tray.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I thought that was.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then an old was it Pyrex?
Yeah, old glass bottle, bottom of it.
Oh yeah, I mean. Yep. It's broken, so it's probably not worth as much as finding the whole bottle, but, it can still be beautiful. You can still use it, and that's what I've done.
Very cool.
And the recent pictures, this is just a preview of what is to come, because I have more. We're having Gold Rush days, right, in September. Yep. And GPS will be there at the Buckeye chapter's Gold Rush days. We'll have a booth where we'll be doing a show, but we're going to also have a little gallery, if you will, of all the dredge art. And it's not really, there's no set price or anything. And if you like something, make an offer and take it, and all the proceeds go to GPS Radio.
Cool. Have you thought about throwing one in the auction?
In the auction?
Yeah, they do an auction.
Oh, for the Buckeye chapter?
Right.
Yeah.
Gold Rush. I thought about it. We'll see. We'll see if they want it or not.
They have to want it first. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, some people don't have an artistic eye and can't appreciate it, so I don't know.
True.
You always have critics, right?
Yeah, right. Gotta have critics. You gotta have them.
If you don't have critics and haters, you're not doing something right.
Exactly. So it's just going to be there for everybody to come by and see, and we'll have a little hooks attached to the back of it, so you can hang it on a wall or put it on a shelf or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm almost out of trash.
Oh,
so
well.
this weekend,
get back out there.
We're going to go get some more.
I told you before, Kathleen, I have a whole bucket here for you.
Awesome.
Add to your art supplies.
And I have to say, my dining room does not look like everybody else's dining room in suburbia. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's filled with dredge art. And trash, and our Martin table for cleaning up gold.
Rocks
everywhere. Gold pans.
Now,
I do clean up for the holidays, okay?
Yeah, Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner is the only time. Then it goes right back out.
Yeah, we never use the dining room. I mean,
Well, we do.
It might as well just be the gold room.
Yeah.
If the HOA ever stopped into your house, boy, they'd kick you out.
Oh, well, yeah. You're not allowed to have rocks in here.
Oh, gee.
What's with all this?
We have 5 dogs. Keep them
No.
They would probably say something about, just us dumping our sands in our, flower beds and stuff.
Hey, our pavers probably have gold in them
They
from when we
probably do.
started.
Probably. You never know. How many times do you go through your concentrates?
Oh,
Several.
Yeah.
Until there's
Yeah.
no more gold, huh?
yeah, until
Try
there's
to.
nothing. And it's
Or
just,
until it's too small and I'm too frustrated to deal with it.
I've been there.
because we classify the little rocks, and I've been using them in my landscaping and pondscaping.
Well, yeah, I've done the same thing. I've taken what used to be a flower bed. Now it's a riverbed with gravel and rocks and river rocks and big pieces of quartz that I pick up here and there. So yeah, I guess a lot of us do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Waste
I noticed,
not
right, Bucket Billy's, you go over to Bucket Billy's house and he's got all this landscaping and it's all rocks.
All right.
It's a lot of, big pieces of quartz and just rock gardens, baby.
Oh,
You ain't got to weed those.
You're not alone, Jesse. You've seen my yard by my shop.
Yep.
So, well, let me take a quick little break. Do a little something for our friends at Prospectors Radio. Come on, doggone it. Live radio for you, or television.
live feed, either way.
Yeah, now it ain't playing, doggone it.
Well, I think we've been mentioning them quite a bit in this first half, haven't we?
There it is. Yep. All right. Well, I have to give in something for my good friend Tim Grimes at Prospectors Radio. They help us tremendously, along with the Wandering Buffaos. I can't leave them out. So, I had to do that. So
A new commercial is coming soon, too.
I was just going to ask about that because there's one picture in there that...
Yeah. Well, no, we're I'm putting together as the producer a new commercial for the show, and then of course we're gonna have new banner to display, and it's all work in progress, so it takes a lot of time.
Believe me, I know, brother. Editing and now you have more on your plate. You have the radio show you produce and help with, and Kathleen, and then you have the Wandering Buffaos, and then all your traveling. It's busy, busy, busy. I know I'm busy with what I do for our channel, and this Tuesday night show's a bit of work, but I like it. I like the interaction with our friends from around the globe zoomtimes. Right now it's from coast to coast. We have Georgia with David Bogan, and with Dan Zoller in California, and so You know.
Yeah, and you know, with production, I know that it's not easy, and like with me and Ed, when we go out, we do a lot of video shoots. We shoot a lot of video, and I, without trying to push him, like, hey, when are you gonna get this one done? When are you gonna get that one done?
I do work.
It's like,
Jesse.
Yeah. I mean, you shoot a lot of video, you know, different things, and
Yes.
you know, sometimes we go out and like I'm like, okay, that looks like every other one we've ever done. So then we come up with like concepts where we started to, you know, shoot different trips and just put them into one episode where we just talk about one thing at different places.
Yeah.
So you have that, and it, you know, you just have hours upon hours of footage to go through.
He'll just set up the GoPro and we'll forget about it and just keep. We're out there dredging, you know. We just forget.
Yep.
And then that's how he caught the footage of the snake.
right, Kathleen Snake.
I tried not to laugh.
That one was
Kathleen.
at least 12 inches, right?
Oh, I'm sure it was a copperhead. I'm convinced.
Oh,
No. You're
It was funny.
sound as bad as
I
Judy.
was so scared.
I was just dredging away when the snake went right next to her and just stared at her, and I had no clue it even
He was
happened.
just eyeballing me, and I'm just like, I'm still dredging, you know, and just watching him. Like, I see you. And then I watched him slither away, so,
yeah.
you know.
They're
But-
more afraid of you than you are of
I don't-
them.
No.
No.
I don't believe that.
We don't do snakes. Sorry.
Okay, so we were at the snake.
Hey,
We were at the snake, and there was a snake, and we thought it was just one of those plain water snakes. So John Miller threw a rock to scare it away. That thing came charging at him.
Now, if
So-
they have cat eyes, you gotta worry. If not, you're okay.
But I don't want to get that
Yeah,
close.
I'm not gonna stare at a snake's eyes. Be like, hey, are you a friendly snake?
No.
yeah,
They're
and the
all
reason, the
friendly.
Stay away from me. I'll stay away from you. Is the way I look at it.
But they
so
don't.
when's your next video coming out, Shad?
This week I have one pretty much all done.
Power dredging?
Yeah, it's our power dredging episode. It's when we were down, prospecting with a couple of friends of ours, Carrie Tucker and John Miller
At the Double D.
at the Double D. So, yeah, that one I'll have done hopefully before we head out this weekend for a trip. And yeah, like I said, it just takes a while because we try to do something a little bit different. Some people, they just kind of put all their clips together and just put it out there. We make ours try to do a little entertaining and fun, a little bit different, so it's not.
It is
because
entertaining.
you want everybody to stay and watch the whole thing. You don't want them to cut
Exactly.
out halfway through there.
Yeah.
Because you need
There's always
you need the
surprises.
people. You need everybody to watch the whole video, not just part of it. I mean, that's how you get your audience. That's how you start making your money at some point.
Money.
But,
You can make money from
We
this.
haven't got.
oh yeah, there's tons of money to be made on it. Did you know
Better
that?
money.
Hey, well, we've been doing formerly the YouTube videos from prospecting now. Our first real video was 10 months ago, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was our first one.
And so we're progressing pretty well, I think. We're
Yeah.
up to 215 subscribers.
Right.
Our Facebook page gets a lot of traffic.
Yeah, we're almost up to 600
likes on
likes on
Facebook.
our Facebook page.
and we're really popular in the Asian community,
Yes.
evidently.
Evidently, we need to go over there and prospect, and we'll have
Yeah,
people
okay.
Many
following.
people.
Why?
Like, what? Well, that's weird.
They see Kathleen, I guess. I don't know.
No.
I guess I don't know. She don't look Asian,
Yeah.
I'm only half,
right?
and half Lithuanian, evidently.
I'm just the boring white guy.
Hey, I'm right there with you, Shad. So
Yeah, so now if we can just get the people that have liked, a lot of people on our Facebook page, they watch the videos, but they haven't subscribed no matter how much I beg and plead with them.
right.
So But whatever, as long as people are watching it and enjoying it. But like you said, as long as if you're doing something right, you'll have criticism and critics. And I gotta say, almost every video we at least get 1 or 2 thumbs down. So I know we're doing something right.
Yep. Either that or someone's paid the money to just automatically thumbs down you.
Yeah.
Oh,
There is that.
I don't know.
oh, I don't know.
But hey, we have our got to give a shout out to our #1 fan, David Bogan, who's listening to the show. He's been following us.
He was our first
day
fan.
1, and we met him last year at the Golden Treasure Show in Nashville. He came up from Georgia.
That's where I met him too.
Yep. And so we got to meet him face to face there after talking to him online for a while, and then
his wife is
Mita.
She's just so adorable.
Oh, they're great people.
They are.
And drove
we all got
all
to
the way
Prospect,
up from Georgia for the last bash or outing at Pirates Cove. That was
yes,
a great weekend.
That was a really fun trip.
There was quite a few of us there that weekend.
Yes, there was.
Yes.
Even though I believe it rained, didn't it?
It did, and it was cold.
It did.
And I don't even know how it morphed into that, because it wasn't like a formal thing we announced. It was just like people talking, and here we all are, and we just had the best time and found gold.
Yep.
It was fun. That was a good time.
And that's where you got work, Blake.
Well, Caleb was there, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, Caleb and Dano.
Yeah, and we had
Dano,
Mr. Miller.
Miller, Carrie.
Yeah, John Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's going down in the books.
Yeah, we had Patrick.
Yeah, that was fun.
Rich Cooley was there too, wasn't
Rich?
he?
Yep,
And Rich's neighbor.
His neighbor.
Nobody to this day knows his name. We only know him by Rich's neighbor and the truck that beeped really loud anytime he backed up. Yep, Thomas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Thomas was there. Was he? I think
we were gone already. I think when Thomas showed up, or he was there before we got there.
I think he was there before. Yeah, he got there right before you guys.
Yeah, he just stopped by to say hi. He was in the area, and he didn't want to get dirty and
said we were crazy because it was cold.
Yeah.
Well, he missed a great time. I had a blast that weekend.
Yeah,
that was a good time.
It was fun.
We didn't get to hang out as much as I wanted, but hey, we did hang out a little bit.
Oh, you never get
it's
to do
quality
something
time.
As much as you want.
Yeah, that's right.
Either prospect, socialize, or something.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I got to ask you, Jesse.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think we've used, we go by Buffaos, Wandering Buffaos?
Well, I know that.
Oh, you do know. I told you.
Yeah, I do know, but maybe other people don't.
Oh.
Yeah, I know about your name.
Okay. Well,
but I was going to ask you about that to kind of let everybody know about that. Like I said, there's people that don't follow GPS, so may not know that. But go ahead.
Yeah, the of course last name's Biffle. Its origin of my family name is from Germany. Where my family all immigrated from, the Biffles, and if you translate it in German, it actually means buffalo. And if you really want to go back into, I'm talking back into the 15th, 14th century, why do people get their last names? Like, how'd they come up with it? And most people know, well, it was, usually like because of a trade, a skill, or something your family was known for. So I kind of looked up, okay, well, what's the definition of buffalo for Germans besides the animal? And I came to the thing, they refer to it as a big, loudish person. So pretty much the village idiot. So
loudish, it doesn't mean idiot.
It doesn't.
It just means you're just really vulgar
and
loud,
and you break everything, and yeah.
Well,
you're like
you're not vulgar or loud or.
You're a buffalo in a china shop.
Yeah. So we thought we'd do a play on the last name there, and and just go by Buffaos and
Buffaloes roam.
Yeah,
but
and
roaming buffaloes was taken.
yes. So we came up with Wandering Buffaloes, since we like to travel and wander around and go to places that sometimes we have no intention on going to visit.
Wander ourselves into trouble sometimes,
Which has followed us into the prospecting world as well. But then, we spelled Buffaloes wrong because somebody else had a similar name. It was a band of a bunch of old guys. So
no,
wasn't it?
It was a folk band.
Folk band, yeah, but they're all old guys.
Well, they're not old. They're probably my age.
They're like my dad's age.
You better watch it.
Yeah, Kathleen's 8 years older than me, too.
Oh, he always likes to say that.
Just saying. But that's how we came up with Wandering Buffaloes and why buffaloes are like our logo, so to speak.
Well, I like it. It fits. You can feed your wanderlust too, which
yes,
I have a good case of that myself.
Definitely. I hate being confined and not going somewhere. I just want to be doing something all the time.
Well, I'm more mad now looking back, places I've been and traveled to that I wasn't interested into prospecting or even had a clue.
Yep.
Because I'd really like to go back to a lot of those places and just dig the heck out of those areas.
Yeah, so now when we see old travel photos, we see like, oh wow, there's gold there. We should have been panning. We were hiking. What the heck?
Live and learn.
I hear you. I wish I would have got into prospecting when I was still in high school or a young adult living in Southern California. Jeez. All the time I wasted chasing girls and surfing and ditching school.
And you were in Washington too.
Yeah, there's some good gold country in Washington. That's where I got into it, living in Washington. And my foster brother, Junior, turned me on to it. We were watching the Buzzard on Gold Fever, way back. Jeez. And next thing you know, I got bit by the bug and had claims and dredged, and my kids grew up going to our claims.
You were hooked.
Oh yeah, to this day. And now my baby's 27, and I'm still bit by the gold bug.
Well, there's just something about finding something that nobody else has found before.
Oh yeah, that's so cool. Picking up a piece of gold out of the river and knowing that no one's ever seen it before, in thousands or even millions of years. That's kind of a rush.
And finding trash.
Oh, and the trash.
Cleaning up the environment while we're at it.
Yeah.
Well, some of that trash that we do find is pretty interesting, like you were saying earlier. You can find some really old stuff. Things. Pieces of broken pottery that are hundreds of years old, and not to forget the arrowheads and trade beads and fossils and everything else that you find out there.
Like we have some of it displayed, like in our office on the shelves. Just some of the cool things we found, like the medicine bottles and old pitchforks and bottles that are intact.
Yeah, from the 1800s, old whiskey bottle.
Yeah.
Completely intact. I found that in Pirates Cove in Indiana under a big piece of bedrock. I don't know how that thing wasn't just smushed.
Pirates Cove did have the best trash. I mean, they had a lot of spark plugs and zippers.
A lot of trash.
And little chain links too.
Yeah, there are zipper teeth.
Those too. But I found like a bunch of little links, chain links.
Yeah.
And like you said, zipper teeth up the wazoo.
I was like, did that many people lose their zippers in the river?
Well, actually, I actually heard about that. There used to be a textile company up the stream
No way.
from there, and I believe that
Are you making that up?
No. Somebody was, well, maybe who told me was making it up. I don't know, but this is what I was told, that there was a textile a clothing manufacturer there, and their dump pile, their garbage pile, where they throw their crap and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was by the river, so with all the flooding and the rotting away of the material, it leaves the teeth behind. Then they get flooded down the river to our pan.
That explains it. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what I was told. How true that is, I don't know.
Well,
but it sounded like
I heard there was a dump once, an old dump along the river.
Right, heard that too.
And that I believe really easy, And every time it floods, Pirates
sense.
Cove gets a little more treasure.
It's not only about the gold; it's about the antiques you will find.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I went antiquing.
In my rock garden, I have an old wagon wheel, or the steel rim from or the steel part on the wagon wheel that I found when me and Ed were out.
Yeah, my own little private Idaho, Jesse found that in the middle of a creek by the fjord. So.
Wow. Yeah, that's an area we want to get out to prospect, because
I've never been there.
We've been fortunate where we've gotten to do dry washing a couple times now out in the Arizona desert. Our last trip was really good there. And then, of course, we've gotten to go to California where with Shannon and Amra.
And see the hard rock mining.
Load mines. And
yeah, that looked like a lot of fun.
About that. And,
yeah, I had to chuckle on that video, though. When you were kind of naive to the term of high grader.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue what he was talking about either. But of course, I thought I was going to walk in there and just see like this big line of gold in there, and I'm like just staring at it, and it's like I don't see anything. And he holds like a loop to it, so I could look at a piece, and it was just so tiny, but it's so much of it.
There's so much of it,
and it's just stuff like that. Being able to get out there and learn different techniques and different types of mining too is really interesting. But we still want to do our west trip, going out west and hitting up to the Dakotas and working our way over to Idaho and just prospecting along the way. Hopefully we'll do that in a year or two.
That's a dream we've had.
Yes.
So.
Well,
I think that's a dream we all have, isn't it?
If you ever get to Washington on some of your Wandering Buffalo adventures, you two, let me know. I'm sure I could talk to some of my friends, depending what part you're going to be in.
That'd be sweet.
Like BMXer Don01 right here. He's from the Vancouver area of Washington, and he actually prospects in a creek that runs right through Vancouver. Burnt Bridge Creek. There was actually a little stampede or a little gold rush on it in the late 1800s. And he pulls gold right out of there. I think he's going to be dredging it this year, too.
Oh, nice.
Hey, real quick here, I want to say hi to our buddy Razor. He's in the room, or he was.
His ears were burning. We were talking about him.
I guess.
Hey, Ray.
I don't know if he's still in here, but he was a little while ago.
He might be. You never know. Ray Raz. He's going to be a guest on our show here in a couple of weeks also.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we have Chris Chadwick coming up next week from East Coast Prospectors on Facebook and Chadwick Farms.
He does Midwest Prospectors too, doesn't he?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him. And
think
then
he
we'll
did.
be having MDV on the 8th from ipanforgold.com.
Nice.
So yeah, it's coming along little by little. Our audience hasn't been that big yet, but it's growing. Every week we get
You
them.
guys probably get plays after, if they don't actually see the live.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
Well, I don't know if having us on is going to help you, but,
Well, that's that.
Sorry.
Well, if we were interested in that, we wouldn't invite you. We would have invited some exciting
Thank you, El
people.
Swenko.
I would have invited maybe Dick Goldsmith or something.
Oh, come on. Dick's a good guy, but, you're all part of our family, Shad and Kathleen, and you're also a YouTube creators, both of you, and I think it's a good match, and you're really good friends of ours, so why wouldn't we have you on? So
we appreciate it. Yeah, definitely.
Any way I could help out my friends, and they, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and you guys have been really good to our channel, so hey, whatever I can do to...
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, so all your listeners, make sure you subscribe to Wandering Buffaos, and don't forget to tune in to Prospectors Radio Wednesday, our West Coast edition.
Yeah.
What is it? 9 o'clock Eastern
9 o'clock
Standard Time.
Eastern, yeah.
9
Yep.
o'clock Eastern.
And then Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
But out west, it's 6?
yeah, 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Out in California time.
Right.
Yeah.
Pacific.
But yep, that's when Kathleen has Dredging Up the News.
Yeah.
And then Swiftwater in the Goldfields talks about all things prospecting out there out in the West. So yep. And then on Sundays, of course, it's usually open mic night, and we have guests periodically. And then Cooley's Corner, where you get to hear about anything from prospecting tips and tricks and
don't forget the Snapple Real Facts.
Snapple Real Facts by Dennis Dayton, of course. Wouldn't want to forget those.
So hey, Shad, what happened to the Science Corner?
That was a joke.
That was a joke.
And
No, I thought that was good. You could come up with some science stuff.
Every now and then he might pipe in with some kind of science facts because he does that just normally. Like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but then I'll get smacked by my wife, So
I always make fun of him.
I'll steal her thunder.
No.
Don't hit me.
Whenever you do that, I'm like, tell me more, Mr. Science.
Yeah, she makes fun of me. But that's how I am.
That's all right.
I hear stuff interesting and I research it, Like all guys, you research a lot on the toilet. You're a good thinker.
He is in there a lot.
Hey,
I'll just say that.
They don't call it our library for nothing.
I just don't, being a woman, I just don't see the need for that.
Hey, after the Marines, I enjoy it now, okay? So, enough. Whatever. Don't judge me.
So, are you still forging and stuff, Shad?
Yes, I don't do too much in the summer, just
hot.
because I would probably pass out because it's so stinking hot in the garage trying to do that. But yeah, I do a lot of it mostly in the wintertime when it's freezing outside because by then the garage heats up very nicely.
Right.
I've self-taught. First I built my coal forge, out of an old grill parts, and then I have an actual forge that I run off of propane now too. But I make a lot of hand forged knives and on and end things too. Just depends, but I like tinkering. It's fun. It's just a good relaxing hobby to go out there when the kids or wife's driving me nuts and I need to take my frustration out on something.
And when you got that hammer in your hand, they don't come around, right?
Exactly.
Well, you remember a while back I asked you about those window weights?
Yes.
I thought maybe you might be able to use that to make something with.
The what?
Yeah, I don't.
Cast
I'd have
iron
to
window
test it to
weight.
see what kind of metal it is.
I believe they're like a cast iron.
Yeah, I think they're cast iron.
It would just break, and
Oh.
you wouldn't be able to forge anything of it.
Need
I mean,
some
you could
good steel,
use it
huh?
as like if you're doing like a Damascus type of a knife, but you would have to put some high carbon steel in with it for your cutting edge. But
Okay, most of us have no idea what you're talking about, but keep going.
I've learned a lot about it, so now that I can appreciate the show, Forged in Fire. I will watch that.
That's a good show.
Yes, and she keeps saying,
show.
"Oh, you should go try it." I'm like, "Heck no!" I said, "That would just be." I don't want them coming into our garage right now because it would be embarrassing.
Yeah.
But another thing I do want to mention, because I know you've been showing it on the screen, Ed. Kathleen has a blog too on her WordPress site.
All right.
Let me get back up to it.
Yeah. It's I haven't been blogging recently because I was pouring my heart and soul into an article that I was trying to get published, but it's just taking so long. I'm just going to put it out there. It's going to be about women in gold mining history. So it's just a little fun read.
So you have a lot of different women, or one type of woman, or
I do mention just a handful. Ones that played a big part in the Klondike Gold Rush, and just women's role in general in the California Gold Rush too. But my favorite, I am intrigued by the California Gold Rush because it's just part of our history, and I also have an interest in the Klondike Gold Rush in 1896, 1897 ish,
somewhere in there.
Yeah, so I've always had just a fascination with it, and I read a book about Kate Carmack, and she was allegedly she was the one who discovered the first piece of gold, but her husband George took the credit. So it's interesting. It's just an interesting.
Up on Bonanza Creek, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dawson area. I heard about that. I think because he was a white man and she was native.
Yes, and they couldn't. They didn't have all the. Allegedly, they didn't have all the property rights and things like that. But read the book. You'll enjoy that. It's kind of interesting because it gives you a perspective of. Kate's point of view, and you don't really hear a lot about her because she was a native to the area and one of the tribes. So you learn a lot about.
Did you see what David Bogan said about Georgia being the first gold rush? Which he's right. 20 years prior to the California Gold Rush.
Right.
Did you check on any history of women during that gold rush too?
No, in Georgia, that'll be an interesting one to touch upon too. So look at that. I got more writing material.
There you go.
Yeah, I was surprised from when Kathleen likes to read a lot, obviously. And, we go and try to find used books at like Half Price Books and other places that we come across from areas we go to and shows and whatnot. But I was actually surprised because when you think about the old timers and the gold rush, most people assume the women were like, working in the certain types of houses of ill repute, and, making scars or cooking dinners, making money that way, having types of restaurant and food services. But I was really surprised to find so much and read so much about women were actually out there with their husbands or by themselves digging and into that mine tunnels themselves and out there in the creeks and processing material right there with the men. It's really amazing that it's not mentioned as much in the history books as you would think.
Well,
so that's
you
kind
know,
of
they are history
Right.
books after all. So
Right.
yeah.
And you know, here's the thing too. Back then, it wasn't like your wife went to her office job or any job. She was either with her husband
Yep.
out in the fields or back at the house waiting for him.
right.
So yeah,
Might as well put her to
you're
work,
right. Yeah,
right?
you never do.
See,
You never
I
do
would be
hear.
one of those women that would be with my husband doing the same
Well,
thing.
and I'm sure there's a lot of women out there. I'm sure there's a lot of women out there that would be like that.
Yeah, like
You know?
Terry Tucker, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Carrie's my girl. I mean, we
Oh,
we have a lot of fun when we get together, and she's crazy about gold just like I am, and she's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a lot of
it
fun.
was a pleasure meeting her at the Dayton Gold Show. She's a cool gal.
She is.
I have a lot of respect for you two women. I thought about doing a kind of a tribute to the ladies of prospecting here in Ohio. You know, we have you and Carrie. We have I had a name.
You and Carrie,
now I'm
and then there's
drawing a
Carrie and
blank,
you.
but Patrick, Susie Q.
Yes,
Yep,
Susie
right.
Q.
Yep.
And there's another one who her name escapes me. She has a dredge. Heidi Lung.
Yes.
Yep.
She's awesome too. I enjoy looking at her posts. And she's in her wetsuit like we are, and it's I gotta tell you that I used to really care about how I looked all the time until I started prospecting, because I don't even care. So that's been fun in the wetsuit.
It sure helps a
Yeah.
lot the deeper you get, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? Like just show my head. Don't get this wetsuit. And then when you put the waders on top of the wetsuit, like what I do in the wintertime, because it just keeps you extra warm.
Yeah.
It's even worse.
But in the middle of the winter when there's ice and snow, who cares?
Right.
You're gonna stay warm.
I was warm.
You know what? You're one of the few out here that get out there in the wintertime. Me, I can't be out there
My
too long
favorite.
where my hands freeze.
We
So
find actually really good gold in the
Yeah,
winter
we do.
because nobody else is out there.
right.
And you're
But-
getting all the fresh flood stuff
Right.
from
And you're not stopping and talking to this person.
And the water is
Yeah.
really clear.
Oh, it's so clear and
so you got great
and no
visibility.
snakes.
No snakes, yeah.
It's the biggest factor. No snakes.
No,
And no other bugs, no mosquitoes. But yeah, you do just get a little cold, but it's worth it. It's fun.
Yeah.
We enjoy it. Carrie's out there with us in the winter too.
Yep.
This year she was, so we were crazy.
Yeah.
I know I
She's
don't.
kind of
Go ahead.
she's included in some of our videos too, whether she likes it or not.
Well, she'll get used to it, won't she?
Yeah, this next video we have putting out, it's for entertainment, but there's some dredge porn in there as well. But anyway,
Right.
we had her taking part in the shenanigans. We had her acting, and
Yes.
she was.
Well, it was kind of funny. It's
We
like
kinda
one of those
made her.
things like, okay, we were out there for a few days, so obviously I don't have enough memory card and battery life to record nonstop the entire time. But, to not give too much away, there was just some odd and end stuff that happened that was like, oh my gosh, what do you do? And you had it was like, okay, I could just quit and give up, or I could figure something out, or it's one of
It's
those.
like a multiple choice
And
quiz.
so we had to go back and kind of reshoot some of the stuff because we weren't filming at the time when that stuff happened, and Carrie was not excited about having to relive one of her experiences. But
Yeah. We won't give it away. What happened?
Okay, yeah, don't give it away now. Just keep us all in suspense.
Oh, but that was a fun trip, and we got a lot of gold out of that trip.
Yeah.
So, and good footage.
Good footage, yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I'm now following you on Twitter. You wandering buffaloes,
Yeah.
you.
We are new to Twitter. I'm not a big.
I don't tweet.
Not a tweeter. Our kids are.
I don't tweet either.
I just
really
opened up
understand it.
one myself, so.
I think it's weird you're limited on characters, and I don't understand this hashtag thing. But we figured, you know what, we'll share some stuff there, and who knows. We'll
Learn
put
to
ourselves out
abbreviate.
there on that too. Why not, right?
Do me
You
a
gotta learn to
favor,
abbreviate
go
on there.
over to my Twitter account. And,
Oh, I'll follow you. Yep.
Yeah, it's at @flash_your.
Oh, that's a little.
Well,
Flash
they
what there?
gave me what they gave me. I couldn't.
You can edit your handle though.
Well, the flash in your pan.
Well, you're probably going to get a lot of followers with Flash Your. You know, people be like, "Oh, that's funny." Or,
Yeah.
I wonder what he's about. Just get a picture of a woman on there, and man, you'll be blown up with thousands of views.
You should tell them our most popular video.
Oh yeah, our first video, full video of us prospecting, you know, was down at the Double D claim in Southern Ohio, one of our favorite spots. And well, I titled it Double D Gold, right? Because
Yep.
Double D claim, gold. It made sense, right? I wasn't thinking of
And
nothing
then the
else.
picture.
And the picture was the one that YouTube chose at the time was, oh, it's the one with Kathleen. She's in her tank top and smiling at the camera, holding a dredge.
Holding a
Holding a
dredge nozzle.
Dredge nozzle.
I was dredging.
Oh, boy.
So that's been our most views on
I
that video.
think people stumble on that by accident.
Yeah, the watch rate on that is very limited. I think it's like people are like, "Oh man, really? That's all this
2
is?"
minutes.
Yeah, right.
Wasn't what they were.
Oh, that's not what I typed in. That's not what I was looking for. I wanted some double D's.
Yeah. We got Double D Gold.
Talk about
Yeah, I
clickbait.
guess you gotta. Yeah, that's some real clickbait there. Remember that, Ed? That's how you do it.
Oh yeah,
Starting
double D's.
with double
Oh, have a picture of a set of Hooters. Yeah.
I think I had clay on my hands, didn't I? Like,
Yeah, you were like holding up.
I was
clay
holding
on
up my
one
hand, a hand, and there was clay on it. I don't know,
and smiling.
because I was happy about the clay.
She hit the clay layer.
Ooh, work that clay.
Yes.
I got some pretty decent color off the clay layer in Georgia, or no, North Carolina.
Nice.
We should have started dredging a lot sooner, Jesse.
Yeah. Down there for 10 days, we dredged a half a day.
Oh no.
What?
We did a lot of tourist shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be down there again, and all that's taken care of. So now, boom. But
Yep.
the Vane Mountain camp's a really nice camp, and the caretakers, Brian and Vonda.
Vonda.
Great people. Had a great time there with the OSPA. Should have went down. It was a great time. I was trying to talk David and Mita coming up to Dahlonega to meet us, but I guess for MDV it was a 3-hour drive one way, and for them it was a lot farther. So, but I was
Georgia
hoping
is
they
a big state.
I was hoping they
Yeah,
could
it
come
is.
up to the Loud Mine while we were there, but I
Beautiful
definitely
state, though.
understand. Oh yeah, but pulling a trailer down the Dragon's Tail. That was fun. I was pissed off at this car tailgating a couple of bikers, though. Remember, Jesse, all the way down?
Yep. Yep.
I'm like, man.
I got footage of that.
Yeah, a little, but remember I brought it up when we were almost out of it?
Right. We're down towards the end. Oh, get the video. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, well.
It
You
is
got to be
what it
ready, I
is.
guess.
Well, next time.
Well, are we running out of stuff?
Yeah, pretty
Well,
much.
I did want to end with a quote.
Okay, there you
Okay.
go. It's all yours.
Okay. Well, for those of you out there who aren't familiar with the Wandering Buffaloes prospecting site that we have, it's just a website where we have our blogs and stuff. I posted this a while ago, and I really love this little saying. It's called Advice from a Buffalo. Stand your ground, have a tough hide, roam wild and free, and have a strong spirit. Let the chips fall where they may. So I really like that saying because it
That's
says
a
a
good
lot
saying.
about Shad and I.
Yep.
They
Nothing
should
comes
be
easy
seeing
for
it
us.
here real soon because I have it up on your WordPress
Yes.
site now.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
doggone
thing that's the
delay.
thing that we all need to live by too. You think
Yeah.
about it. That's something that as humans that we all need to live by.
Yep.
Uh,
Stand your ground.
stand your ground.
Have conviction
Under-
in what you believe.
Understand that people are going to say things to you, and you have to be able to let that stuff just bounce off you and just do your thing, and
Right.
whatever happens.
And don't ever let it stop you from doing it.
Right. Absolutely.
Now what you need to do every time you think of that saying and you feel empowered, Jesse, I want
I'm
you
gonna
to
drop
go.
a chip, man.
Well, here's what you need to do. You need to go on YouTube and do a search for buffalo growling or buffalo grunting noises
Oh.
and see how they make their noises and what they do because it's freaking hilarious.
What, they make certain noises when they do
Yeah,
that?
it's pretty hilarious.
He can imitate it, but I don't think he wants to.
Show
They
us,
hang their
man.
tongue way out and it's this god awful grunting weird noise.
We would have to be Buffaos.
Now,
Yeah.
does
Wondering if
Shad
Buffaos,
ever
we
do
get-
that,
Yeah.
Kathleen?
But, yeah, he used to.
Okay. I think we're starting to drop down in the gutter
Yeah, it's getting late.
What kind of show is this?
here. What is this? Is it like a buffalo chip show or something?
Well, I had a lot of fun.
We had a blast having you and Shad with us tonight, Kathleen. Thank you.
Yep.
Shad,
Yep.
Kathleen.
Thank you very much, and definitely we'll keep encouraging everyone to tune into your guys' Tuesday night shows and catch all your upcoming guests that you guys are having. It's been a blast.
Hey, it's been fun having you here, and well, like Ed always says. What do you always say, Ed? Maybe one day.
too.
Yeah.
I'll see you on the river.
You better trademark
Not
that.
if we see you first.
Yeah.
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 Well, you're going to be at the Gold Rush days, right? You're
Yes,
going to be.
we will.
We will.
You're going to be going up to the Swank anytime before then.
We may.
Sure.
It depends, yeah.
Yeah.
That's always our fallback. If
It's
we're
so
not
close to our
able to
house.
travel anywhere and the weather's a little unpredictable, it's a good place to go to just get out there and play in the creek and see what
Yep.
we can find.
Hey,
Yep.
That's an easy day trip for us.
we
Yeah.
Jesse, we should put our booth right next to Prospectors Radio's booth.
There you
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh, you guys know we're having a booth. We're going to be have a booth there at the Gold Rush show.
go. Awesome.
So if you need dream mats, come stop by us.
Oh,
Cool.
cool.
We'll
Yeah,
have
we're gonna be having-
dream mats.
We're going to have a bunch of different dream mats and gold cubes and just different equipment to show the mats with. So that ought to be fun.
Yeah, I'd love to check that out because
Yep.
I'm thinking about trying the Dream Mat out on our cleanup sluice. So
I'll tell you this.
On your
you'll like
coolie?
it.
On your coolie,
On our coolie.
on our coolie.
We're gonna try it out.
How wide is
I
it?
got coolie 7.
We got number 1.
I know.
Ooh.
I know, and I'm not jealous. But yeah, I think he's got a new mat coming out specifically for cleanup solutions.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'll
a
wait.
high and low profile on it.
Right.
And
So we'll have that. We'll be having that there too, and I'll probably throw a piece of that into my coolie 7.
how wide is the coolie cleanup sluice?
7 inches, or I think.
Yeah, it's no, it's not 7 inches. I think it's 6 inches.
6 inches.
Yeah, I had to
Yeah,
cut
maybe it's 6 inches.
because I had to cut my gold hog mats down to fit in there, and I think I had them at 7 inches. Yeah, it's 6 inches. So, yep, we'll be doing that.
I know I really Dano's like the Dream Mat works, and I love it in the Gold Cube. You know, I was kind of iffy about tearing out that conveyor belt matting, you know, this vortex matting, and I did. Ran it, liked it so much, I ripped the other one out of the other trade. Now it's all mini Dream Mat all the way. Love it. It's a good mat.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll be having that.
Yeah, we'll be having sluice, cube, cleanup sluice mat, and we'll be running all of them, right?
Yep, and our stream mat, our power head, our stream mat with a power head.
Right,
Probably your 2-inch suction nozzle.
right.
Let people run that. So it should be fun.
Yeah.
Well, for everybody but us. 'Cause we're gonna be working.
We'll be working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
no
happens.
prospecting for me.
Yeah. Oh well. We'll make up for it.
Yep, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks again, Kathleen and Shad. It's been a pleasure having you, and I can't
Yep,
wait
always
to
a pleasure.
go out dredging or high banking with you again.
Definitely.
We're on an hour and a half, 32 minutes, and thanks,
Yeah.
Annie. All right.
Good night.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight, our YouTubers and friends out there. And may you always have a flash in your pan, and I'll say it again. Maybe one day, too, we'll see you on the river.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.